Hello, I'm Darren Hardy, entrepreneur mentor and publisher of Success Magazine, and I want to welcome you to Insane Productivity. This is a 12-part series on how to achieve extreme levels of personal productivity. This is where you'll learn to produce insane results, insanely fast, sanely. Welcome to Module 6. Okay, this session seems to be a big one for lots of folks. When I got the feedback sheets from the summit attendees, the ideas in this section seem to have made a big impact on a lot of people. We're going to build the decision filters for your life. By what criteria can you vet every solicitation, opportunity, and choice that you make? If you have a reliable guidance system for all decisions, behaviors, and opportunities, then you can quickly declutter your life without guilt and keep yourself focused and on track with what's really important to you and your future. Are you ready for an insanely important session? Okay, get your manual ready and let's join the summit. So now that you've defined what success means to you, now you need a guiding beacon, okay, that's going to keep you on course all along the way. Because you can know that you want to sail across the ocean to the other side, but if you just travel in the dark, you'll never know whether you're on track or off track. So you do have to have a guiding beacon that will keep you on the right course all along the way. So what is that guiding beacon? What can help keep you on course? I consider it to be getting clear and understanding what your real values are. What your values are. Not your parents, not society's, not the people around you. What your values are. And what's interesting here is that values for you will be different than the person sitting next to you, than the person behind you, be different than mine. And until you get clear about what they are for you, you will not know how to guide yourself through life. You will not know how to guide yourself through choices. You will not know how to guide your behavior. You will have no compass, and so you will be like a sailboat without a rudder and will just wander aimlessly in the sea. So I think having a clear understanding of what your values are is a very strong guiding beacon for your life. So what do you value the most? There's a worksheet in your book there that will take you through a whole series of different values. And what I want you to do is go through and don't overanalyze. And obviously, all those values are awesome, but what I want you to decide is which one are more awesome to you, okay? The most awesome ones. So at least get 10 and underline them, okay? If you end up with 20 or 30, that's fine, okay? But just underlines the ones that seem to stand out to you. Okay, for you listening now, to access, go to your manual and pull out the Core Values worksheet. Once you do, the task is to underline the 10 values that stand out for you, that are most important to you. Of course, they all look good, but what are the 10 most important to you? Then, once you have your 10, narrow it down to just the top 3, and then circle those. Then, follow along for the rest of the live session. They are wildly different, and what's important to realize is what it is for you. Not for me. Mine would be totally different than most everybody in this room. Mine is success, significance, and contribution. Those are my 3, right? And so adventure and fun and family and spirituality, those are all really great, but you got to figure out the 3 for you. What you don't want to have happen is have society, commercial marketing, your parents, your peers, right? Your alumni, the guys or gals at the country club, end up defining your values. And then taking you in a direction where you end up hating your life and hating yourself as a result of it. Once you have these 3 values can act as your compass. You can now chart your course. You can always question where you're at based on these values. For instance, every time you go about making a choice, you can vet it against these values. For instance, there was a few months ago, somebody gave me an opportunity to invest in a gourmet burger franchise here in the greater San Diego area, and they had this whole plan how it was going to expand. Based the way it was structured financially, it was this great opportunity investment-wise. They were giving me, preferential treatment because of my brand and all the rest of this. It was seemingly a fantastic opportunity, okay? And I was grappling with it. I was busy. I'm traveling. I don't have the time to vet this and to do the due diligence and the rest of it. Should I do it? I just kept it in my inbox. And it was just sort of, it was pulling at me. And then finally, I was going through a journal, probably preparing for one of our peak performance calls, and I found my 3 values, and I thought, wait, based on my 3 values, that doesn't fit. A gourmet burger place, something I don't even eat, and would not necessarily recommend others do, is not in alignment with my values. Not that it's not a great opportunity, and that budding entrepreneur, I wish them the best of success, and lots of people will love what he does, and he'll serve the community, and all that's wonderful. That is just not my values. Now I know why I was so pulled. So when you're clear about your 3 values, now you can start making better choices when you vet them against your value. Then you can start having different action and living out different behavior based on using these values as your guiding principle. That's why this is important. That's why this is not fluffy stuff. This is concrete. This is how you vet decisions inside and through your day. You vet it against your values. Do I want to go to this meeting? Do I want to take on this partnership? Do I want to open up this market or territory? Well, let's check it against our values. And then the decisions are easy and quick. After that, I said, no, I don't want to do it. And it was like relief, because it's no longer pulling at me. And now when things come at me, I can quickly vet, and I could say no quickly, and it's actually refreshing. That at least I know, even in my own mind, I'm not guilty, I'm not wondering, I'm not unsure or sure whether I should or shouldn't. It's clear. So I am released. The aligned individual, the one who is clear about their values, then starts making choices against those and then acting in accordance with those values, becomes the aligned individual. And that's where you want to live. Because psychologists tell us nothing creates internal trauma and stress more than when what we do on the outside, our behavior and action, is incongruent with what we value on the inside. This is where people who achieve lots of things or do lots of things, if it is not in accordance with their values, they don't understand why they are tortured inside, why they have anxiety, stress, why are they depressed. Some people who achieve great things, or they're doing great things in a market or an industry, but they are depressed or anxious or have anxiety. And the reason is because they are misaligned. They are doing on the outside, which is not congruent with what they really value on the inside. One of my favorite authors of all time, Ayn Rand, she has a great quote. I think it puts it all together perfectly. A man, meaning the greater man, a man has to live for, and when necessary, fight for his values. Because the whole process of living consists of the achievement of these values. If they are threatened, he has to be willing to fight and die, if necessary, for his right to live like a rational being in accordance to his highest moral values. Decide what you're willing to die for. But what is more important is, what are you willing to live for? And if you can live in accordance with those values, life is very different. So now let me also fix one of the other crazy mythologies that have started to crop up within the personal development, self-improvement industries about this whole find your passion, do what you love. Everybody's answer of what's your greatest secret is find what you love and do your passion. And that's all fine and dandy. But look, man, in reality, there's not just one thing and not one path to find your passion. Not everybody gets to be a rock star, okay? There is 4 paths to find your passion. The one that everybody points to is the what you do. And that's great. If you love what you do, that's wonderful. Consider yourself lucky. Go to bed with a grateful heart. You are fortunate and rare. But that's not the only path. Okay? What you do is one path. Cool. However, be warned, as Wall Street Journal did, do what you love? Maybe not. Would-be entrepreneurs are often told to follow their passion. That may be a good way to kill your passion. Because you might love doing this thing, and then you turn it into a business, and it ends up becoming a nightmare. And you've just destroyed the one thing you loved. Maybe sometimes the hobby that you love needs to stay a hobby. Okay? Again, if you find something you love doing, wonderful. But it's not the only path. So if what you do is not something you absolutely love, you do not have to get depressed and debilitated and that life sucks for the rest of your life if you don't find what you love to do. That's the thing I hate about this part of our industry is they put so much emphasis on find what you love. And so everybody else, 99% of the population who don't necessarily love what they do, feel like crap. Okay? It is one path. Let me give you three more. How you do what you do. There are people that I know that what they do, in my view, sucks really bad. There are people who are gardeners working outside. There are people who are construction workers. There are people who are janitors. There are people who work under cars. And to me, that what looks pretty awful. But here's what I have found. They love how they do it. They bring a level of excellence, they bring a level of care, they bring a level of precision, and they love how they do it. A great designer, a great architect, the actual what might suck, but how they do it, they absolutely love. So a janitor can actually love their life, be living their passion. A construction worker who's living outside with his buddies, feeling completely free, applying great precision to his work, always showing up on time, cleaning up a job site with great care, the how could end up being the way that that person lives their passion. Then there's why. The great cause, the mission that you're trying to fulfill. So Chris Carver, who is here with us here today, is the COO of Invisible Children, a phenomenal organization here in San Diego that I'm on the board with, and they do universe denting work. No doubt, okay? Now, what Chris has to do day to day, if you don't mind me saying, sucks. There's a lot of his day that is just, it's awful. And then he gets kids to do things that are awful as well. He sticks them in vans and they travel all around the country doing a screening of a movie. So they're living in the van, they're living on people's couches. I mean, they're eating top ramen. These kids are sacrificing. The what sucks. But they are on fire. This is one of the most passionate collection of people you will ever meet because they are finding their passion with why they're doing what they're doing. The ability to affect change for their generation, to stop a war, to end violence, to end the abuse of children. Their why is so big and powerful that the what process doesn't even affect them. So it could be for why you do what you do. I'll admit that I love what I do, but not most of the time. Right? Trains, planes, packing bags, suitcases, being away from my wife, being a vagabond, all this crazy stuff. The what part of it can suck most of the time. But it's the why. Knowing that today I could stand before you and when these lights go on, when I hear the epiphanies that you're having, that's why I do what I do. That's why I sacrifice weekends. That's why I do these back-to-back. That's why tomorrow morning I got to get first thing, go to Arizona, then to Orlando. Because of the why, the impact that this could potentially have on people's lives, and then seeing those ripple effects, and then getting the stories back. That's what keeps me going, even if the what process sucks most of the time. Okay? So why is an option. Then lastly, who? It could be for who. You might think the process of what you got to do in your office every day kind of sucks a little bit. And it's not like you're bringing a level of just outrageous perfection, world-class how into it. And there's no great mission that's being accomplished. But it's a means to a very important end. Maybe it's to send your children to the greatest universities that you never got a chance to go to, even though you qualified for it. Maybe it's your parents are getting up there in age, they're running out of money, they're becoming desperate. And your means can financially provide the ability to pay off their house and retire them financially. You can find great passion in that. Give me your name again, sir. Sean told me the story. He's a physician, works crazy hours, all these distractions and so forth. He told me the story about a conversation he had with his daughter. and what she said to him. And he said, I'm here because of that conversation, because I want to be better, do more in less time, with less stress, so that I can be with her. She's why I'm here. I'm like, it's beautiful. He's talking, I'm tearing up. It's his who that's driving his passion. Even though he's got to go back into the medical center, probably do a lot of crazy stuff that he doesn't really absolutely love, right? But it's who, and that can actually bring him back into the medical center with great passion. All right, this is Steve Jobs.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
So there's 4 paths to find your passion. What, how, why, and who. What you want to do is figure out what path you're going to focus on. And then stop focusing on the what if that's not it for you. Stop focusing on the why if there's no great mission being accomplished here. Fine, no big deal. It's not a problem. But pick one, focus on it, and that will embolden your passion. And then you have to ask this key assessment question. Are your goals internal, meaning character attributes, these things that I've talked about? Or are they external? I'll be successful, win, title, money, marketplace, competition crushing, whatever. And let me give you the poster child for this warning. Andre Agassi, was trained from a little kid to become a championship tennis player. And he achieved fantastic heights, more than most anybody in the sport ever. He won 8 Grand Slam titles, 1 career Grand Slam. He won an Olympic gold medal. He's a 2-time Davis Cup winner. And then, after all that achievement, he says, what the hell is wrong with me? I'm the #1 tennis player on earth, yet I feel empty. And he always hated tennis all the way along the way, but he persevered through it anyway and achieved great heights and found out that he hated it, even after he collected the achievements. So in 1997, he went from #1 in the world to 141st because he started using crystal meth. Then he realized, I had the wrong goals. All these tennis achievements for the sake of the achievements, those were the wrong goals. So he started a charter school for disadvantaged kids. Because when he was a kid growing up, he felt unsafe, uncared for. And he wanted to help other children not have to experience that. So he started this academy in Las Vegas and then went about using his achievements and his fame in which to provide the funding for this great internal goal that he had. He rose back to #1 through this newfound path of passion in '99. And he said, now a game that I always hated became a priceless gift. At last, my fame will have a purpose. And he's raised $60 million, and he's put so many kids through an experience and changed their lives. And I've been to several of his charity fundraisers, and he's like a little kid. He's so excited about what impact his academy is having on these kids. And he used his tennis achievements in order to fund his real goal. So the question for you is, can you repurpose your external goals to drive your internal means? Your passion, your motivation, your fulfillment. Maybe your achievements, doing things that, you once thought was going to bring you great success. Now you realize really that's not going to bring you great success. But maybe it could be the means to fulfill and fund your internal goals that are real. Okay, did you decipher what your top 3 core values are? If not, please complete the exercise. I promise it will be a very helpful guidance system as you move through life, through your choices, opportunities, and solicitations on your attention. I also encourage you to spend some time really evaluating how you want to live. Not just what you want to achieve, but the lifestyle inside of what you do. Come up with your ideal criteria of the kind of life you want to lead, business and all. Then see where your current situation fits and where it doesn't. See if you can reorient, adjust, change, or delete things that are out of alignment and then add things in that would support your desired life. Then use this criteria to determine the direction you let your life go from this point forward, keeping your life as the priority, not just your ambition. Trust me, this will change the direction of your life for the better. Okay, until next time, I wish you an insanely great day.
Insane Productivity was designed and delivered by Darren Hardy. Copyright Darren Hardy. All rights reserved. For more information about Darren Hardy, his books, programs, and success resources, or to hire him to speak at your conference or train your leadership team, visit darrenhardy.com. Insane Productivity was recorded and edited by Richard Del Maestro of Studio Del Maestro, specializing in the coaching, recording, and production of the spoken word for thought leaders. For more information, visit delmaestro.com.